Hey, Shalom Yahab Hashem Yahushai Barakathum to all the brothers. Shalom Yahab Shamar Ilathah Hashem Yahushai to the sisters. This is the ISUPK side of Long West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Juliana. And this is the Las Vegas Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? Today we're doing a continuation from last week. I feel like this topic here is a topic to be taught in its fullness into completion. You understand that topic? What did we start off with? Was I forgot what the first topic was. But then we went into voting. Now today we're going into the continuation of the Israel coming together as one. Israel being the so-called Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. You understand? And then when we finish that up, finish up this topic, we're going to go into the importance of communication. You understand? That communication going from, whether it's from brother to brother, brother to sister, sister to sister, from the highest ranking man to the lowest ranking man, the lowest ranking man to the highest ranking man, a father to his children, a husband to his wife to the whole shebang. We're gonna go over that, the importance of of us just having communication. You understand? Salakia. Okay, I found my notes. Boom, I'm ready to go this time for it. Before we actually get into the topic, though, I'm just gonna ask that everybody does their part to make sure that they like and share the class. You understand? It's very important that we all do our part to make sure that we get this word spread to the four corners of the earth. You understand? Because there could be a brother or a sister on your timeline that is looking for a way to turn their lives around. You understand? That brother or sister being a so-called Black, Latino, First Nation man or woman. You understand? And the only way for those said people, quite frankly, to be able to actually turn their lives around for the better is by serving the Most High God. You understand? And you can only serve the Most High God here in the ISUPK under Commander Juliana. You understand? You cannot serve the Most High God in those Christian churches. You understand? Because you know what? Quite frankly, the person that's teaching you in those Christian churches, those pastors, you understand? They're over there, doing everything but what the Bible actually says. You understand? They are literally wolves in sheep's clothing. You understand? You can't serve the Most High God if you are, in these fake Israelite camps like gay UIC, them little purple homosexuals. You understand? You can't do it there because again, they are doing everything but what the Bible actually says. Any of those so-called unity camps, you cannot serve the Most High God there because nobody actually follows what the Bible says. You understand? The only school, the only place on the face of this planet, you understand, that actually follows what the Bible says, that does as the Lord's will is in the ISUPK under Commander Juliana. You understand? So make sure that y'all do your part to like and share this video. If there's anybody that's online that has any questions, feel free to post it in the chat. I will get to I will answer your question to the best of my ability scripturally. If I'm unable to answer it myself, I will take your question to a mightier man than myself and get the question answered for you. You understand? Again, we are not the Christian church. We're not gonna, listen to an answer listen to a question and then, just feed you an answer that just sounds good, that makes you feel good. You understand? That's what the fake, that's what those Christians do. You understand? In the ISUPK, we actually deal with the truth. That's exactly why we are called the home of the truth. You understand? So I will let you know, hey, I ain't got the answer for you, but I can get you the answer. You understand? And of course, we'll be able to answer the question in fullness. You understand? Scripturally. You understand? At the moment, I don't see anybody online that has any questions. Is there anybody in the classroom that has any questions? You got a question? Which question?
I was just going to say
Is it something that your mother can answer for you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's your question then? What'd you say? If you can use the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay, that's something that you can ask your mother. Go ahead. We'll use the bathroom. All right. So, like I said, we're gonna pick up from where we left off last week. You understand, so that we can get this topic answered in fullness. Because you know what, it is very important that so-called Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women, we all come together. You understand? The only reason why we are in the condition that we are in is because, who can finish my thought? Go ahead.
Because we don't want to separate from other nations.
Because what?
Because we don't want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. One, and then I was gonna say also we don't want to separate from all the other nations.
Okay. For those of y'all that didn't hear what the sister said, she said her first answer was because we don't want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and then also is because we don't want to separate from the other nations. Even though that she is correct about those, with those answers, that's not what I'm looking for. You want to take another stab at it?
Okay, so the question was why we're in the position that we're in, right?
Yeah. And your second answer was actually the closest to the answer I wanted in the first place.
Because we don't come together.
Because we're not coming together, because we're not unified, because we want to separate from each other, but not the other nations. So if you would have just finished it with that, you're right by saying because we don't want to separate from the other nations. You're right. But who are we separating from? Is our own. We want to separate from our own people. You understand? When the Most High God wants us to be one, He wants us to be unified. That is literally what part of what Yahweh's mission was on when He was in the flesh. When He was on earth, you understand, was to show brotherhood. You understand, to give, of course, to show us the spirit of the law. You understand, and that spirit of the law is for us to prefer our own and to separate from the others. You understand? That's why it says in Deuteronomy 7:6 that the Most High God says that we are a holy people. What does it mean to be a holy people? No, it means to be separate. To be holy means to be separate. You understand? You can't be separate if you're trying to unify with all these other nations. You understand? You had something?
Wait, what Christians, Israel has to be separate, right?
Separate from Christians, exactly. You're not supposed to be like Christians. Exactly. And see, look, this is a 7-year-old boy who understands this. You understand? Where do you know that from? Where does it say that you're supposed to be separate from Christians? Hey, maybe he just learned very well at home. You know what I'm saying? The Most High in Christ, give his parents a hand. God damn it. You understand? That's the Lord right there, where just a 7-year-old boy at least understands that he's supposed to be different from other people. You understand? Because this is what it says in the Bible. You understand? So, let's go ahead and get into this topic. Why does it always do this? All right, cool. I believe we stopped at Luke 4:25. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start at Luke 4:25. I might have already read that. Let me see. Let me just open it. It's fine. Let me see. Okay, so let's go to Numbers 16:1. I think that might be in Salakia. Okay, yeah. This is where I want to start. The book of Numbers, chapter 16 and verse 1. All right, we'll go ahead and start this. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 16, verse 1. Now, Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. So now, just to set the stage, these were men coming together. You understand? Whom of which were sons of Reuben. All right, Korah was gathering men amongst himself. All right, verse 2. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. So this brother Korah, you understand, whom of which was a Reubenite, he gathered 250 other Israelites to come up against Moses. All right. Verse 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. So right now, Korah and all these other brothers, right, are coming together against Moses and Aaron and saying, man, you guys are taking too much responsibility. You're saying that all of us are holy, right? We're all, and the Lord is with us. But basically, why is it that we should follow under just you? If the Lord is with me, I mean, hey, shouldn't I be able to go start? Can't I have my own school? We could do our own thing because the Lord is with me, right? Now, first of all, before we go on, who does that sound like?
All the other camps?
All these other fake ass Israelite camps. You understand? All of them. IUIC, GLCC, GMS, and those are really the in Sakari, I can name that one. Other than that, I don't know any other fake Israelite camps. You understand? All of them split from what would be known as, at the time of Moses and Aaron. What would Moses and Aaron's school be? What would that be called back then? Right, Azai?
It'll be called the Christian Church.
Mm-mm.
That would be the UPK.
It'd be the UPK because they have Moses has the one truth. You understand? He has the one understanding. And you're going to see that, that is so. And also what's going to happen to those that want to cut themselves off from the truth, from being in the ISUPK, to go and start their own thing. You're going to see how the Most High God dealt with them. All right. But mind you, just like what Ecclesiastes 1:9 says, that there's no new thing under the sun. So what Moses was dealing with back then, same thing David dealt with, same thing Yahushua dealt with, same thing that we dealing with today. You understand? We're going to see how the Most High God is going to decide to deal with them at that time, right? With those that want to do their own thing. Okay? Verse 4, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. So right here, Moses is saying, like, you know what? Tomorrow, the Most High God is going to show who he's with. Tomorrow, the Most High God is going to show whose side he is on. You understand? Who he supports, who he sees to carry out this truth. You understand? Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ. Trooper, it's good to see you in the class. Good to see you in the class. Okay. You understand? All right. Verse 6. This do. Take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. You understand? Verse 8, and Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray, ye sons of Levi. So like verse 9, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek ye the priesthood also? For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron, that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. But let me see what I want to skip down to so we can get to the point, Salaki, the point of the class, at least, Salaki, you know. Or you know what? We'll keep reading from there. Verse 13. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that flowed with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? So now, again, this just sounds like IUIC and these other fake camps that cut themselves off from the ISUPK. You understand? Because they didn't believe that, you know, all of this, you know, the truth should just be in one place. You understand? This is a direct similarity to what we have today. I see you. What we have today, which, you know, all these fake Israelite camps where they call themselves unity camps, because they're split from the truth. They can unify amongst themselves, but can't unify themselves with the truth. You understand? And they want to find any and every excuse to say, why do you deserve to be the home of the truth? When, quite frankly, where the home of the truth came from, that's how you were able to see Egypt destroyed. That's how you were able to see the Red Sea part. Y'all understand? But yet, you find it upon yourself to still question, why should I be leading us? Now, mind you, they said, why should you be the prince over us? When Moses never said he was a prince. That's the same exact thing that these fake camps do, where they point the finger at Commander General Yohana and say, oh, you guys worship him. I see you all worship Commander General Yohana. Y'all put him on a pedestal. Y'all do, you know, X, Y, and Z. Now, mind you, we reverend. We what's the word? We honor. So like we honor Commander General Yohana for what he has done. Just like how these Israelites right here should be honoring Moses for what he did. Moses got Egypt destroyed for you. You understand? Commander General Yohana held on to this truth for you. And that deserves honor, just like Moses deserved honor. Just like Commander General Yohana deserves honor from you. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I know y'all had your hands up. Give me 1 second. All right. And then, of course, they're complaining like, man, y'all took us out of this great land just for us to die in the wilderness. You understand? Where when they started falling off from the ISUPK, they got upset that they quit their job. They did all of these things on their own, some. You understand? Grew out their beards and everything like they were supposed to. You understand? And they said, well, I did all of this for you when I had an okay life before I started, following you. Before I started following the ISUPK. You understand? Same, but different, but still same. You understand that? Sis, you got a question?
Oh, I was gonna ask, did they also had issues with like rank? Because when he asked that question, could that have been implied?
Okay. I'm not 100% sure just yet that rank was actually established yet. I think that's a little bit further into numbers. I could be wrong, but there was still at least some sort of establishment of leadership, of course, because that's why they're coming up against Moses and Aaron, where Moses is first in command, and then Aaron is second in command, because Moses had an issue with speech. And Aaron was very good with speech. So Aaron spoke for Moses. It was something very similar to like Commander General Yohana and General Mahayim. Commander General Yohana doesn't have a speech impediment that I'm aware of, at least. I think he speaks very well, very inspirational. But, so like General Mahayim, a lot of times it is him speak, it's him being the face for General Mahayim, where, he, how do I want to put it? You would see General Mahayim before you would see Commander General Yohana, just off of the fact that General Mahayim is going to screen what Commander General Yohana, deals with to alleviate. You understand? Because it is still a chain of command. So, like, to an extent, yes, but into the fullness of your question, and that's something I can, look up myself. When rank was actually starting to become established within Israel, as far as the officers and the captains and stuff like that. You had something?
What's the Red Sea?
The Red Sea, it's the sea that Moses split. It was a big body of water, and when Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt, the Most High God told him to, use the staff, split split the sea. And so when he did that, the water parted, rose up and parted, so that the Israelites could walk through where what would be considered the middle of the sea. They just walked through to the other side safely, and then the water came back to where it was, and all the Egyptians that chased them were killed and drowned in the sea.
I thought it was a Red Sea.
No, it's just called the Red Sea. The sister says, Salaki, sir, is this situation an example of leaning into your own understanding when it comes to following the law, statutes, and commandments? Kind of, sis. That's exactly that. All right? Because what did they just say? They're sitting there telling them, earlier, what was that in verse 3, where it says, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift yourselves up above the. Oh, that's nice. Well, that's nice. Salakia for those of y'all that our license went out. Salakia. Let me finish your question. Wherefore then lift ye yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. So they're asking them, like, man, if we're all holy, why, and the Lord is with all of us, why are you above all of the, all of us? You understand? Why is it that Moses has more of any type of leadership role, a higher role than the rest of us, when, they're basically saying we should be a unity camp. We should all be equal. We all be like one. We're all holy. The Lord is with all of us, right? You understand? That is a direct example of leaning unto your own understanding. Because how does the Most High God want things to be set up in the first place? Go ahead.
You want it to be set up for our like celebrations. Like Christmas, Halloween.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you're right about that. I wanted to let me do that. Okay.
And he wants it to go in the right way.
Man, that looks kind of bad. I wonder why it doesn't look like that with Shabbat using that light. That's interesting. All right. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Go ahead, sis.
I was gonna say he wants us to move like one body and.
Okay, so one body, one accord. How about with decency and order? With what comes with decency and order? It's rank system. You understand? Just keep it simple as, the household. Someone's got to lead the household and someone's got to follow. Who leads the household?
The Most High?
Okay, so who's after the Most High? I mean, you close. That's a good guess. Well, not necessarily a guess, but that's a good answer. It's the Most High, it's Yahweh Shai, and then it's the man of the house. Everybody else under the man follows him. The woman and the women, and the children. You understand? So, Khan says that, obviously they did not have an understanding of the laws, statutes, and commandments because they were questioning the order and decency in the first place. When, isn't it Moses that's the one that's being dealt with, that the Most High God is actually talking to tell y'all goofy asses what to do? Hey, I'm about to blow this goddamn African booty scratching ass Egyptian mother out the water. Y'all do this on this day, be here, do as I say, you won't be afflicted by the destruction that's coming their way. Guess what? Moses let them know, those who listen, guess what happened? They weren't afflicted with they weren't caught up in the destruction of Egypt. You understand? Because they follow Moses. So it almost sounds like if I listen to the person that's telling me that he's, getting instruction from the Most High God, and as long as I listen to him, I can watch everybody else get destroyed. Don't it sound like you should listen to that person? Go ahead.
What does Moses mean?
What does Moses mean about what?
What does it mean?
I think he means who is Moses. I think that's.
Who is Moses?
That's a person.
I got it, sis. Moses is the brother who led the Israelites out of Egypt. Moses is one of the great leaders of the Israelites.
I thought it was just commandments. That's all I know.
No sweat. No, that's a brother. The sister Imani Hamilton. Let me know if I answer your question. If you need me to expound on more, just let me know what part you need me to expound on to make sure that I answer your question to the fullness. All right. But either way, just let me know whether or not I answer your question or not. Give me 1 second. Let me see. All of a sudden, it don't want to turn on now. That's crazy. There we go. I guess it's a little bit better. I guess I'm not as bright skinned as I thought, man. I'm actually kind of blending in a little bit. I really feel like Judah now. It's like All right. All right. Where did I leave off at while I wait for the sister to let me know that I answered the fullness? Verse 13. All right. Verse 14. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. You understand? Oh, okay, Most High in Christ says. So, all right, let me see how bad it actually looks on here. Salaki, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, it don't look too bad on there. It just looks bad on here. All right, yeah. I do actually want to finish this class. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So this right here is the same thing as, you know, like before the big fallout where all the brothers that were in the ISUPK before, Nathaniel decided that he wanted to be a purple homosexual, and, you know, Sakari wanted, you know, I don't know if that's his name or whatever, but before all these other fake unity camps disbanded from the truth to go and start their own fake camps. You understand? Where they're just like, okay, you haven't delivered on the things that you promised me. The thing that you told me, you know, Christ was supposed to be here, year 2000, for example, for those of y'all that are hip to the Y2K, right? The Y2K prophecy. Christ didn't return. So, you know, Christ didn't return. This didn't happen. We're still waiting on this. We're still waiting on that. These brothers are saying that, you know what? You took me from this land. You haven't brought me to where we're supposed to be now. What's the correlation between the two? What's the similarity between the two? The brothers is impatient. They expect the things to just, they expect the kingdom of heaven to fall out of the sky. They think that the kingdom of heaven is just going to come down on the sky, or come down from the sky, set itself on the earth, and then boom. Life is just rainbows and daisies and unicorn dust, and everything is fine, well, and dandy. It's going to be like living in your favorite happy-go-lucky cartoon. You understand? Go ahead, young man.
They're probably thinking the things are just gonna do stuff if it never should happen.
Right. All right. If you got questions, you can raise your hand for questions. Okay. All right. Verse 15. And Moses was very wroth and said unto the Lord, respect not their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And see, now Moses is pissed. I mean, I ain't do nothing to offend these brothers. I don't know what the hell that goddamn issue is. You know what I'm saying? And then Moses also said to him, he said, man, you know, Lord, don't respect our offering. Because they're trying to offer you something, you know, in the like off of the whim that I did something wrong to them. You understand? So, you know, Moses is letting the Most High God know, you know, hey, this is what's going on. They acting like I trespassed them, but I didn't. All right. Verse 16. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them. So the censer is, you know, basically like this, right? You put the little incense in it, you know, telling them to spark that up and hold your peace, right? I mean, you know, basically, man, set that doggone thing ablaze, right? So he's letting them know, hey, this is what we're going to do tomorrow, okay? And put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. Verse 22. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? So now, right here is setting up, because this is where the Most High God was about to kill them all off, because Moses and Aaron was the only ones doing the right thing. And then again, because Moses has that type of brotherhood, you understand? This is, and mind you, this is where Commander General Yohanan learns to be so doggone brotherly and patient with you bastards, It's like with you numbskulls that want to continuously rise up against Commander Junior Hana. You understand? This is where he learns this type of brotherhood. It's from a strong, great brother like Moses. Where even though that they even pissed off Moses, they was lying on Moses. Right? They was trying to come up against Moses, and Moses was still like, oh, hold on, man. Salaki, sir. Salaki, I don't want. Man, I don't, not all of them should be killed off. Right? So then when you go into chapter 3, you understand? Chapter 3 basically just goes into, and we're not going to read it. We're going to stop right there, right? Chapter 3 goes into how when Aaron and Moses, they separate themselves, and then basically it's going to be anybody that agrees and follows with Aaron and Moses, separate onto this side. Everybody that wants to separate against Moses and Aaron, come on this side. And those that went on the opposing side of Aaron and Moses, the Most High God opened up the earth and swallowed them. Y'all understand? Give me 1 second.
Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, slack it. All right, where was it? Okay. So you understand that is a consequence. That is part of the consequences of coming up against the Most High God. Mind you as well, who was the appointed leader of the Most High God?
I just have a question.
All right, which question?
Wait, does it mean it's like open the earth and like the earth swallow all the people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the earth opened up to the big, huge hole, and then it closed. All those people fell into that hole, then the hole closed back up and swallowed them. You understand? You want to take a stab at it? Moses. So if the Most High God appointed a leader to lead his people, who are you really coming up against when you decide that you don't want to follow that leader that the Most High God appointed? Who are you really coming up against? Go ahead. Hey, man, give the young man a hand. Exactly. You're coming. Man, see, look, this is a 7-year-old boy, y'all. The 7-year-old boy knows this Bible better than your doggone Christian pastor. But hell, knows the damn Bible better than y'all that are not in the school, that are watching these videos. You understand? You fake Christians, man. This little young man right here knows the Bible better than y'all. You understand? He's got more critical thinking than you could even imagine. All because he understands the basis of following the law, statutes, and commandments and what follows with that topic of the class. He knows that he needs to be one with his people. So if he's not one with his people, who is he one at odds with?
The Christians.
No, the Most High God. No sweat. No, I tried to trip you up. It's okay. I did that on purpose. I've been really impressed if you got that right, though. But still, Y'all understand that? I pray that y'all understand. All right. So now, as we move forward, we see that these prophecies are unfolding. We see the things that are transpiring in this world right now, right? So we know that this time in this white man's world is coming to an end, as it is written. You understand? That is what the prophecy says. When we are in the time of Esau's kingdom, we're in the end of times. Well, quite frankly, we're in the end of times of those end of times. Y'all see it. Y'all be watching the news. I know that y'all do. I know that y'all be seeing a lot of the things that, that be going on between the celebrities, the wars, the famine, the pestilence. You understand? All of these things are coming at an accelerated rate, I see. You understand? Because why? It's all about the end. So when it's all about the end, now mind you, with Moses delivering, with Moses and the Exodus, couldn't you basically say that was the beginning of the beginning, basically? At least of, the Israelites becoming a nation, right? Right? And look at how they got dealt with in the very beginning. Now, when we come up into the, while we're in the very end, how do you think things are going, how do you think things are going to be for those fake Israelites that want to come up against us? Mind you, come up against their own. Or like what the, what the young man had just answered, ultimately you coming up against the Most High God. How do you think you're going to get dealt with in the end when you've had plenty of time to get things figured out? Plenty of examples for you to, look at and say, you know what? I need to quit effing off and get my together. Because, I want to keep being a drug dealer. The Lord gonna put some goddamn fentanyl and lace it up with my weed or whatever the hell that y'all doing. And now you're gonna get killed in your own sin. You want to keep on being a homosexual. You understand? I'm not going to comment on it, on the Colorado shooting itself. Aside from, this isn't the first gay club that got shot up. And it seems like there's a little bit of a pattern that every time that they have a new little, every time they take another great step to big up themselves, but put us down further under their heel that much more. It seems like one of them don't like being up on a pedestal and starts killing them and starts shooting them. Because when was that last one? It was maybe like a year or two ago. I think it was in Florida. I believe it was. They had there was a gay club that got shut up in Florida or whatever. I mean, those people that got shot and killed at either of those gay clubs, you know what would have saved them that day? I mean, you could start with that. But what reason would they not be there? Huh?
They weren't homosexual.
They weren't homosexual. If you want a homosexual, you want to be in a place of wickedness, right? Simple as that. Go ahead, man.
They were, I don't have a Christian anymore because
Okay.
they're invested.
I know sweat. All right. Let's get moving. But y'all understand, you coming up against where the truth came from is coming up against the Most High God. You starting your own little, honestly, it is gay. It's so goddamn gay. You might as well just say that you're a Christian. You're a Christian unity camp. That's why I call them purple homosexuals JUIC, Judas United in Christianity. They just like Judas because Christ had a goddamn warrant. And what did Judas do? Turned his ass in for some fucking for 30 shekels of gold, 30 shekels of silver. And what does JUIC say in their camp speakings? If you have a warrant and we find out, I'm turning you in because we can use that money to build ourselves. They would turn in Yahweh Shai Mashiach. They would turn in your king because our king had a goddamn warrant. You understand? And of course, I mean, at the end of the day, what is Christianity all about? I mean, it's all about great wealth, the blessings of wealth. I mean, hell, isn't that what your Christian pastor shows and displays in the midst of him teaching? Because he just got a new jet, and $1,300 shoes, and then just paid off his car right off the lot, $56,000, right? All that doggone money, right? JUIC, Judas United in Christianity. That's all of the fake Israelite camps. All of them. They're all Christian, united amongst themselves. They would sell each other out for whatever lust they desire in a heartbeat. And you as well, Black, Latino, First Nation man or woman. You understand? That's why it's important for these classes to get liked and shared, so that to make sure that these get pushed out to the four corners, so that our brothers and sisters actually have an opportunity to hear the truth, to see what the truth is, have an opportunity to see what real brotherhood and sisterhood actually looks like. Right. And with that being said, just really quick, right, make sure that y'all stay in touch with us. Right. December 1st through December 4th, we got the West Coast Las Vegas Cookout. You understand? We're gonna have General Mahayaman doing a scripture breakdown class on Thursday, followed by the One West Radio, hosted by Captain Gadalhar. Friday, we're gonna have a doggone we're gonna have our camp speaking from, I believe it's 12 to 6 p.m. Then after that, I guess, hey, we got an Airbnb for a little kickback party. You understand? And then Saturday, we're having an actual, the barbecue cookout. It's going to be at Centennial Hills Park, right there at a farm in Buffalo. You understand? You need details, address, whatever. Just make sure you reach out to your respective camp leaders. Also, after that, then we got another Airbnb, I believe. Actually, no, I think we're going to the club before the Airbnb on Friday, and then hitting the Airbnb, and that's going to be the same thing on Saturday after the barbecue cookout. You understand? So if you want an opportunity to see what real brotherhood, sisterhood looks like amongst so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called First Nation men and men and women, First Nation people, it's like you, men and women, man, come to this cookout. Come check us out. You understand? Where you can actually have a couple of drinks with your brother and ain't gonna be no fights. You understand? Where you can actually, shoot some dice, play some dominoes, play some spades. Ain't gonna be no fights. Ain't nobody gonna get shot up in there. Y'all understand? Real brotherhood, real sisterhood. You understand? Which can only be found here in the ISUPK, right? And then we'll do another shout out of that at the end of the class. But make sure that y'all get with us. Come to this cookout. All right. There we go. So now we're gonna drop that. We're gonna go to the book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 6. The book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 6. Wait, what? I knew that looked funky. No, that's not where we're going. It's a lot here. Give me 1 second. 12 and 1. All right. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Genesis 12 and 1. All right. So y'all got to understand this. Today, Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women, our separation is basically over. Aside from we're in the time of our last separation. All right. Can anybody tell me what what the separation is in this lifetime, what with the separation that we're going through this iteration. Okay. Yes, but no. I'm trying to think how I need to ask the question. Because maybe you didn't understand what I meant. What is the separation? You know what? We'll revisit that question. The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Now let's revisit that question. Because right here, who did Abram at the time, who did Abram just get separated from? So Imani Hamilton, she said Salakia is a separation of the men from their families. Okay, no. Right here, what we just read, Abraham was being separated from somebody. And up until a certain point, there is a division and separation. And it all starts from the very, very beginning, which is Adam. The separation process begins. Now it's a little bit different in this iteration, in this age, in this little go through that we're going through, waiting for Yahweh Mashiach to return. What is different from now than from then? Right.
Was it harder to is it harder to separate from other nations now than there was before?
No. What was the separation at the time of Adam?
Well, I thought the separation was from other nations. I think isn't that what he was separated? They separated.
Okay.
Because isn't that why they were?
I mean, yeah. I started with it. So, wait. Say your answer again.
No, I wasn't saying that they had already said that that separation was separated from other nations. But isn't that why they were?
So, what is the separation? What is the separation that we're going through now? Okay. Now, our nation wasn't actually established yet then, though, with Adam. So you are right about that. Right? So what is the separation now, though? You said from other nations, okay, but there is still more.
Well, from others that are not following the law?
From those that are not following the law. Because, I mean, now, in ISUPK, we don't teach the 1/3, 2/3 thing. Because just like what Paul said, I pray that all of Israel gets saved. And we all stand by that. You understand? But if it does come to fruition that if it comes to terms that the Most High God says, you know what, I'm sticking to 1/3, 2/3. 1/3 will be saved, 2/3 will be destroyed. Why would 2/3 be destroyed? 2/3 being 1/3 and 2/3 being of the Israelites, not of the world, but of the Israelites. So why would 2/3 of the Israelites be destroyed?
Well, that's because they also weren't following the laws and statutes and commandments.
They weren't following the law, statutes, and commandments
So they get treated just like the heathens would, right?
because they didn't separate. Right, exactly. No, exactly. Now, from what we just read right here, it is a little bit different. I started with Adam, which kind of did kind of mess up the question, so it's a lot here, but you kind of did fix it a little bit. You yourself, I will, tip my hat off to you for that. But what I meant to say was starting with Cain and Abel, because now a seed between those two wasn't necessarily chosen, but there was a preference of a seed, and that was Abel. Cain killed Abel. So now the unpreferred seed, basically got banished, whatever, started his own thing, got marked. Then Seth came forward. Then Seth came forth with Noah. Then after Noah came Abraham. Then Abraham had numerous sons, and then it was Isaac. Isaac had, Isaac had his twin boys, and then it came Jacob. It was Israel. So it became a separation of the seed, which technically, that was also the same thing going in with Adam. Adam's seed was still chosen. Adam was a totally different seed, a different family than everybody else that was on the face of the earth. You following? So his seed was chosen, and that's what I was getting at with it. You understand? Because the nation of, you could say, the Adamites, there would have been a nation of Adamites had Adam not fallen for Eve's nonsense. You understand? Go ahead.
So, 12 and 1, that basically when we start there, that became separation of the seeds.
Well, who was he separated from?
Well,
from his own family.
Right.
Just like who? Wasn't Esau Jacob's brother? His older twin brother at that? But wasn't one chosen? You understand? And that's also one thing that y'all got to understand as well when you come into the ISUPK. All right? The truth isn't necessarily for everyone. The Most High God, although, like I just said, we want all of our people to have salvation. We want all of our people to be, to be saved, to be able to inherit the kingdom. You understand? But is that going to be realistic? Is it even, no, not realistic. I'll take that back. Should it be much of a surprise if the Most High says, I want you, but I don't want you? I mean, it might suck. Me as a parent, that one of my children, the Most High God doesn't want to be in the nation, but at the same time, should I take it personally? Should I take it, oh, woe is me? Or come up against the Most High God? You see where I'm going with that? Because at the end of the day, Jacob and Esau literally shared the same exact womb, came from the same exact seed. They shared the same womb. You understand? But yet one was chosen. You understand that? But one was chosen. And y'all need to understand that when it comes to all of all these fake Israelite camps. When it comes to the unification as well. Is he cold? You understand? Yeah, just take him out. He wants to get out. You understand? So when we say that we all need to come together, When we say that blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women need to come together as one, we're not saying it in an aspect like these doggone unity camps. You understand? Because what these unity camps are going to say is, hey, they're JUIC and they're GMS. So, we have our differences, but we can still come to, we'll invite each other to each other's Passovers and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we got one mission. You understand? We're about one thing. When that's not what the Bible is about. That is not what the Most High God is about. It's one accord. You gonna take him aside? Probably just wants to stand up. That's what it is. Not just ass. You all right though. Y'all understand though? The Most High God wants us to be one body, one accord. So you can't be somebody that, wants to be in a totally different body that opposes this body. You understand? That don't work. Go ahead.
Like you're like saying when somebody wants to switch bodies with you because you got chosen.
What do you mean switch bodies?
Like what's it called? Like they want to make you to not get chosen, that they can be chosen.
Okay, like you almost got it, you almost understand it, but you need to be one body where you're really good at playing Fortnite. I'm not good at playing Fortnite. But we got to win a bunch of games today together. Okay? So I'm really good at playing Apex Legends. So if you play Fortnite, I play Apex Legends, we can win more games that way. Because now, you can count yourself as the left hand and I'm the right hand. You're getting this work done, I'm getting that work done. So that when we come together to make the same points. Do you understand that? Do you?
Yeah.
So that's what the one body is. Our the mission objective is for that one body is to win as many games as we can tonight. But what the other camps want to do is we're supposed to be winning games, and what they want to do is they want to try to dress as nice as possible. They want to look like a family. Like they want to look like a family reunion camp. Does that make sense?
Like,
they got a different objective.
Like with fancy, like with regular stuff, they just put on anything, right?
Yeah. You understand? All right. Oh, damn. All right, so now we're going to drop that. We're going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 24, and verse 3. Book of Exodus, chapter 24, and verse 3. You want to hear this? There's cups over there. You can help yourself, sis. All right. Book of Exodus, chapter 24, and verse 3. And Moses. So like y'all. All right. Exodus chapter 24 and verse 3. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord. Just leave it right there. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord hath said will we do. Who could tell me the significance of this verse we just read? going off of what our topic is, that all blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women need to be on one accord, that we all need to come together as one.
ISUPK?
I mean, yeah, that is a significance. You learn how to do that here in the ISUPK for sure. Can you give me a little bit more?
And the Most High?
I mean, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna take a stab at it. What is the significance of what we just read? I'll read it again. The book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 3. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord hath said will we do.
The one voice portion.
So what do you mean by that?
Like it tells you they all answer with one voice after hearing the Lord, so everybody stayed on.
So what's the significance of that, though?
As far as
What the topic is, what we just read, what is so important about what we just read, with or without what the topic is for tonight. That
I feel like I kind of just lost it.
no, you're fine. That blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women need to come together as one. That's tonight's topic.
Because it says right there that they all answer with one voice. So if they answer with one voice, everybody has to come together. So,
We need to have that same spirit. We need to follow up with that. That we all need to have that one voice, that one body. You understand? So now, mind you, as well, talk is cheap. The Most High God wants somebody who's going to walk that walk. You understand? So the Israelites saying that, okay, yeah, we'll all do it. Now, mind you, they all agree. Oh yeah, hey, we'll do it. All in one voice. That's them saying we understand what the hell our God wants us to do. Right? But then, so what happened? Why is that we have, them purple homosexuals, JUIC? Why do we have them little, the little kid molesters, GMS? Why do we have all these other camp, these fake Israelites who, hey, blacks, Hispanics, First Nation men and women, but yet they're still sleeping with white women. They still sleeping with Asians. They still sleeping with the enemies of whom of which hate you and your people. I mean, isn't that against the law according to Deuteronomy chapter 7 verses 3 and 4 and verse 6? Aren't we not to marry our sons to their daughters and their daughters to our sons? Our sons to their daughters and our daughters to their sons? I basically just said the same thing back and forth. Right? That's what Deuteronomy 7, 3 and 4 says. And we're not to do that. For he is the Most High God. We're to be separate and stay separate. But who are we to be separate from? We just had that debate that they had in Numbers, what was that, Numbers 16? Was that Numbers 16? Yeah, that we read in Numbers 16 where they were trying to come up against Moses and Aaron. I see you. You understand? The Israelites themselves, that was hell. They witnessed the Red Sea being parted. They witnessed Egypt getting blown the hell up, destroyed for them, but then still decided, I don't really like your leadership. I think you're doing too much. I feel like this is all a plot that you have to rule over all of us. So we're basically just trading a king that was over us, that ruled in a land of which I lived in, that flowed with milk and honey, traded that to come and serve you in the wilderness where there is no milk and honey. I'm not messing with that. But in other words, they was just impatient children. And they didn't understand the law to like what the sister had asked earlier. They leaned onto their own understanding. They were Christian in the fact that they believed that they just did a couple of things and said, I believe in God. I followed you across the Red Sea. I ate the manna and I did this, that, and the other. I survived all this crazy crap that's never happened in history except for me. For me to have salvation. For me to actually be a ruler of this earth. They expected that, you know, because they did a couple of things, witnessed a couple of miracles that, you know, the kingdom of heaven was just gonna boom. And then a crown just sits on their heads. And then servants just come their way. And then wives here. And just, that was their mindset. Y'all realize that? That was that. They still had that Christian mindset. Now, Christianity wasn't a thing back then. But that Christian spirit was a thing back then. Y'all understand what I just said? That Christian spirit was there back then. It was just called something else for that time. You understand? Because that same spirit is here today. How do you know? Who can give me an example of what the hell they did coming out of Egypt, crossing that Red Sea, being in such darkness that it almost suffocated you? But you had the IFO, you had that chariot in the sky that the Most High had set for, you know, to bring you out of that darkness. How do you know? How is what is being said? What was said then that's the same now? What is the similarity from then and now? Come on, sis. You've been a little bit more recent to a Christian church. You should be able to tell us
how the Christians are now.
Okay, but how?
As far as
what is the similarity from the Christians from today? And basically explain to me the Christian spirit that existed at that time.
it was more so like we can do a few things and you should still be rewarded for it type of nature.
Okay.
So
Can you tell me what like some of those few things are?
like in present time?
Yeah. And this is the thing. What you explain for what's going on today, you'll explain what happened then.
There was no accountability. That makes sense. Like
Okay.
you're allowed to go into a church and do whatever outside of it, come back and no one checks you. There's no type of accountability there, and there's no type of
Okay, I want you to stay on what you just said with the accountability. You can do whatever you want outside of the church and come back in, right? So what do Christians believe that they have to do to think that 6 days, or technically 6.5, 6 3/4 of the week, I can do whatever the hell I want, but them 2 hour, whatever time frame that they go to church on Sunday, what is it that they have to do that gives them that clear conscience? Put your hand down.
I don't want to say it's ask for forgiveness because I mean, of course, you're allowed to do so, but that's enough. And then it's just
So it's just asking for forgiveness and that's it?
the slate is wiped clean.
Okay, no sweat. I mean, hey, I just assumed that you knew a little bit more than I did because I know you've been to a Christian church a little bit more recently, a whole lot more recently than me.
Months ago.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we hit, we've hit Bible studies, but they won't even freaking talk to us. But I mean, they sit there and try to tell you that all you got to do is just profess that, you know, Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and that you are washed in the blood of Christ, and now they got a clear conscience.
That's for like newcomers. The actual like believers, you're past that.
So I mean, okay, but again though, what keeps that clear conscience though? Because see, at the end of the day, I'll say this. The blood of Christ did wash me of my sins. You understand? But they washed me of the sins that I have done, not of the sins that I would do. Do you understand that?
That makes sense.
So any sins, any blood that I put back on my hands going forward, that's on me. Christ didn't die for that. Christ didn't die for you to do whatever the hell you wanted to. Christ died for an opportunity for you to see that, you know what, an innocent man loved you enough to give up his life so that you would stop being a homosexual, so that you would stop being a drug dealer, so that you would stop being a whore, so that you would stop doing things that offended the Most High God. You understand?
I understand. It's just like this space is just they don't teach it that way. So
Okay, but let me ask you this then. You boil it all down, isn't that what they teach?
they do, but like you said, like you ask for forgiveness and then you move forward the proper way. But on that end, you ask for forgiveness and if you fall short, you ask for forgiveness and you continue a pattern. Does that make sense?
No, right. And
Yeah.
so that's ultimately what I was saying though. So there is no real Christian believer. Well, no. It's just a different God. Nowhere is it in here in this Bible that what they do in the Christian church is ordained by God at all. That's just ordained by the white Jesus that they conjured up, but it's not written anywhere here. You understand? So I mean, ultimately, it's just as long as you know, because you look at Catholics. What are the Italian mobsters? They're Catholics. What were they doing all throughout the week? They gave their mother what I think Catholic Mass is like. Oh God, man, that day was so brutal for me. I went to Catholic Mass one time. I was mad as hell. I let my friend talk to me to spend the night that weekend. I'm not even going to front. I think it was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours. Listening to them talk like that. Like, man, get the hell out of here. This is stupid. You understand? They do that for their mothers. They sacrifice 4, 5, 6 hours, however long it is, for their mothers. Then for them to have a clear conscience, hey, excuse me, Father. Yeah, we need to do that little private talk Hail Mary thing. And they sit there and say, yeah, man, I just killed 15 men, raped 3 women, beat up 2 kids, stole this, did that, confessed all offenses of 600, all the 618 laws that don't pertain to them, mind you. Remember that. Confess to all their sins, but yet, as soon as they leave, they're going to do it all over again. That's them professing themselves, asking for forgiveness.
Yeah, they're kind of the same. So,
No, it is the same. It's same. They just do it a little bit of a different way.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you go back to what they was doing in the wilderness at that time. It ain't no different. Oh, listen, I followed you. I followed you out of Egypt like you told me to do, so I wouldn't die. I didn't die. You were right. But where is this land of milk and honey that you promised me that I would have? Where is it? Now, we all know that the kingdom of heaven doesn't come with observation. You have to put your hands to work and build it. That's how we'll have the kingdom of heaven. You understand? That's why it's important. All the things that we do in the ISUPK are so important, because every brick that we lay down is one brick closer to us having the kingdom of heaven here for us to see with our own eyes. You understand? You understand what I mean? So, but we have to be able to separate from that just nonsense of thinking that we are entitled to shit. You really think that your life is yours? That your flesh belongs to you? When at the end of the day, majority of y'all are ruled by your flesh. And you think it belongs to you? You are a slave and a prisoner to your flesh. That's why you can't stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. That's why you can't stop smoking crack, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, smoking whatever the hell that you want to smoke. That's why you can't stop being a whore. That's why you can't stop sleeping with whores. Because you are enslaved by your flesh. And you get justification because you profess that that God, that Christ is your Lord and Savior. You understand what I mean? That's what they did back then at the time, with Moses and the Exodus. I mean, I followed you. But now you got me out here. I'm starving, dude. Like, you brought us out of the land of milk and honey for what? Yes, what I'm saying? Oh, okay, no sweat. You brought me out of the land that we already had, that we already lived in, with that was filled with milk and honey for what? They're getting upset because they're not getting immediate results. And that's why it's important for y'all to come into the ISUPK so that you can be taught and have some goddamn patience and learn that things aren't just going to be handed to you. Y'all, and today, I know what part of the issue is, right? We grew up with the email chains that if you send this email forward into 10 people, you will have a wealth of luck, and later you'll be wealthy and good luck and God will bless you and whatever the hell the email chain says, right? And now today is, if you like and share this post or you hear this song and repost it within 10 seconds, you'll have a year of good luck and good wealth. What I find funny is when y'all sit there and are so quick to like and share and keep reposting that shit, forwarding the email chain. Why do you keep doing that? You never give up on that. But you gotta suffer and endure for your God, mind you, for your people. You go through maybe a day or two and you're like, man, fuck this. Where is this kingdom of heaven that was promised to me? You said promised. Where is? I don't see it. So quick. But you hold on to that goddamn and forwarding messages. You hold on to them reposts. Reposting songs and whatever the hell. That's the spirit of Christianity. That Christian spirit has been here before Christianity was called Christianity. You understand that? Sister said, and make an offering in the tray. And you know what? That offering in the tray, y'all realize how pagan that is? How pagan that custom is? Y'all realize how pagan that is? That tray offering? Where you listen, the tithing, the biblical tithing was not a tray that was passed around. It's something a tithing is something that you gave to the priests. You understand? Or at that time, at the time of Moses, the Levites, because their job was to be a Levite, was to be a priest. So this is how they lived. They were sustained by the people. And then, of course, the excess was when you had an issue, you couldn't pay your land tax. or what have you. And it's like, so they about to come take my land, take my livestock. What am I going to do? All right, let me go get my ledger. Okay, we got a surplus of this. You need this. Here, go get this. Just make sure that you pay this back. And mind you, the law says that we're not to have usury over our own. So when I lend you that 150 silver shekels that you needed, so you didn't lose your land and your livestock, guess how much you had to pay back? Huh? None. No, come on now. You still fucking with the church's money. You know, it's still a lot of money. How much? No. What you borrowed is what you pay back, not a single penny more. Y'all, hold on. And it's not to hurt anybody's feelings. I know you don't know. Do you know what usury is? It's interest. So did you know that according to the Bible, usury is unlawful to put against your own people? So if they're an Israelite, you agree to give them $100, 100 shekels of whatever. You are not to say, okay, you got a week to pay that back, and when you pay that back, you got to pay me 10% more. Or, every day you don't pay me, I'm gonna apply 10% usury. That's unlawful. But did you also know that if you give a loan to somebody of the other nations, you can apply usury? You do know that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't no thing. Hey, if you knew, you know. Now, concept exactly. Usury, no interest. So whatever you borrow, that's what you pay back. No more. You understand? You pay more. If you pay more, that was on you. That was you. Man, I really appreciate it, man. Take 50 more. I had really big, my crop yield was even bigger than what I expected. So, man, take a little bit more because first of all, you bailed me out. Wouldn't even had it in the first place, had the opportunity. But and you know what? That's brotherhood. That's the type of appreciation that even comes forth anyways. And just look at yourselves for a moment. When, as a Black, Latino, First Nation man or woman in oppression, when you going through it and you get a brother or a sister that helps you out, and then that little help that they gave you just so you can stay afloat, not even get on your feet on land, but just stay afloat. You finally get on your feet, and now you got a surplus. What's one of the main things that you want? I gotta show you how much I appreciate you. Thank you. Not only am I, you didn't even say I had to pay you back. You told me not to pay you back, but I'm paying you back, and then I'm gonna even give you a little bit more because that's how much I appreciate your help. You understand? I mean, I can't be the only one who feel that way. It's a lucky. Man, I know that y'all don't. I know that y'all do the same exact thing. You understand? And that's something that's in our spirit. Y'all understand that? And mind you, we all have to keep that spirit amongst ourselves and bring ourselves all together to keep and maintain that spirit amongst each other. Y'all understand? Because you know what? As long as we stay against each other, we continue this whole, I'm from D Street, I'm Gerson, goddamn Crip this, blood that. I'm at the hell with all that. F them all. You're stupid as hell trying to rep a fucking street that a white man owns. You stupid as hell that trying to rep a goddamn color that you don't own. You just wearing it. You understand? That's more important to you than the well-being of your brother and your sister. Just imagine if you reverse that. How powerful Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women would actually be. Just imagine how great this world would be. Now, mind you can say, and a lot of people do think, hey, what a time it is to be alive here, coming into 2023 with all this technology and merchandise and X, Y, and Z. Right? Who brought forth all of those great things that makes this world that we live in so amazing? Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women. Mind you, divided Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women. Imagine how much greater this earth would be if it was a unified, one body, one mind, one voice of Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women. Y'all probably, yeah, I saw that. You broke it. You can't even fathom that. That almost sounds unreal to most of us. Like how they say that the Bible is just a fairy tale, man. You know why they think it's a fairy tale? Because in their spirit, they understand who this goddamn Bible is actually speaking about. Everybody knows. Everybody does know who this Bible is speaking about. But let's be honest, majority of people are actually in denial. Nobody actually wants to face the truth of anything. Because nobody really wants to face the music. Nobody wants to face the consequences for their actions. And a lot of the actions are generational actions. A lot of the consequences are generational consequences. I mean, hell, Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, we've been suffering our generational consequences for, I mean, at the current streak, 500 goddamn years. They don't want to taste their own medicine though. They don't want to taste their own generational curses. That's on the way to them. This is why they keep us divided, because they don't want to see their generational curses. You understand? They don't want to see their generation time and time again that they come into this goddamn world. They see my face, so happy to give their asses lashings again for the morning. And then before night, or it's like before bed, keep mine submissive. And I wish you would try to goddamn run away. You know what I do? You know what I'm gonna do to my runaways? I'm gonna shave the bottom of their feet. And then they gotta go work the pig shit pens barefoot. You know what kind of infections is gonna come that way? You ain't gonna be able to walk. Yeah, run away you want to. You see you run away again. How you gonna run? Barely even walk. And guess what? If you die in the shit pen, I mean, you die in the shit pen. I ain't even gotta check up on you. The fucking pig will eat you. Ain't my problem no more. And you know why that's okay? Because they did worse to us. Y'all understand that? I pray that y'all do. I know I got a little sidetrack. Let's get back on it. Knock these last couple precepts out that I got for y'all. Right? So, one body, one voice. We all need to come together. We need to stop this whole bullshit division. You understand? Stop with the Bloods and the Crips. Stop saying, oh, black and brown, division. Man, we need to have black and brown unity. Like them shirts be saying black and brown unite or die that we got in the UPK. You understand? Because that's a reality of it. If you're not with us, you are against us. If you are not with the Lord, you are against the Lord. So when everything starts popping off, who do you think the Lord is not going to protect? The ones that was with him? Come on now. We ain't living a Disney movie. You understand? Who's that? Exodus 24:3, Numbers 12 and 6. All right, we're gonna go to the book of Numbers 12 through Book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6. All right, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream. You understand? So this is Most High God letting you know, man. If the Most High going to deal with you, wants you to be a prophet, wants you to be going out to talk off of your vision, he's gonna let you know. He'll come to you in a dream. All right. Oh, damn, I lost my place just like that. Verse 7. Salakia. Verse 7. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. So letting you know, man, this isn't how I'm going to deal with Moses. I'm not dealing with Moses in dreams. Verse 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. You understand? So the Most High God is letting y'all know, man, listen, I'm talking to Moses face to face. Most High said that, man, he talked to Moses as like a friend. The Most High God loved Moses because he was servant. He was obedient, subservient to the Most High God. He did as the Most High God willed. You understand? And the Most High God loved him for that. And I actually rewarded him for that. Talk to him mouth to mouth, face to face, damn near. And then this was going on. Now, mind you coming up against Moses pissed the Most High God off. How do you know that? Let's read that one more time. Last part of verse 8. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? The Most High God asking you. But you wasn't afraid to speak against him? I appointed him. I talked to him like a friend. I talked to him face to face. And you gonna speak against him? Like, you not afraid? Okay. Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. Man, the Lord left their ass because of that. Y'all understand that? The Lord will leave you when you try to leave the truth. You get an opportunity to learn the truth of the Bible, learn the truth of who you are, learn the truth of the world, the entire world that we live in. You understand what is going on the four corners? And you have the audacity to say that you don't want to do this no more? You have the audacity to say that you are above this? Maybe you're just too weak. Let's just say that. You're just too weak. You can't hang. You can't handle it. Ain't nobody going to stop you. But just understand that the Lord will leave you for that. The Lord will not protect you no more. The Lord will not be with you no more. When you walk through that valley of death and darkness, you don't have the privilege of saying that, for thou art my light, that you guide me through this valley of death. You don't have that privilege. You just better hope that goddamn whatever the hell is going on in that valley that day, that night, they ain't in the mood to fuck with you. You understand that? Because you do realize, as a Black, Latino, First Nation man and woman, we are always in that valley of darkness and death. And the only way that you can get through the night, every night, is if you serve the Most High God. You have the Most High God on your side. And part of that is being, part of having him on your side is you being unified with your own, being one with your own, being in the ISUPK. You understand that? All right, let's drop that. We're going to go to Numbers chapter 14, verse 11. Right? The book of Numbers chapter 14, verse 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? How long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have showed among them. And see, now the Most High God, now we get to the part where the Most High God is saying it himself. I know they've seen all these great wonders that I did for them. And they still want to argue with you to debate me. When is this going to end? How much longer we got to deal with this nonsense? Right? Verse 12, I will smite them with a pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they. So now we're getting into where the Most High God is just saying, man, I'm done dealing with these goddamn people. I'm going to kill them off, and I'm just going to rebuild with you, Moses. Now we read further, just because we short on time. I want to get the rest of these scriptures, these precepts done. We're not gonna go through the whole thing, but I'm a cliff note it for y'all. Moses pleads with the Most High and said, "Man, like, don't do that. Like, isn't this the people that you, first of all, you made this promise to them, right? And if you kill them, what are the other nations gonna do? They're gonna sit there and think that, oh, their God just delivered them out of this land just to kill them. We should, Lord, I don't think you should do that. Give them another opportunity." Is he asleep? No, Most High in Christ. Yeah. Y'all understand? So, just click on. That's what happened after that. Point to that scripture is, you see how the Most High will kill you. The Most High God is not this passive faggot that y'all be worshiping in these Christian churches, who don't care if you are out there blowing a rod left and right. And yes, because it's 2022, that applies to man and woman and every, all the it's that want to call themselves what is. Where the world don't even know what the hell you are. You understand? The Most High God will kill you if you do not be on one accord with what he has said and ordained for his people. You want to go against it. You just want to be one with death, and the Lord will give it to you. If you think I'm wrong, remember, this right here is not a religion. This is not something that you just pick up and just say, "Oh, I believe in this, and then now this is my God." According to this book, this Bible was written for and by Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, for Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women. Because our God is a nigga God. And he is only for those said people who follows his said ways. Everybody else can just die. He don't give a damn. This is our history book. It's not a religion. This is our culture. This is not something to play with. Unless you think your life is just a game, then you know what? I understand why you trying to play with the Lord like that. You understand? If that's how you feel about your own life, then it makes sense why you think the Bible is just a game. It's just a fairy tale. You think that your belief system is just something that you just kind of I'll pick this up along the way. These are this is one of the attributes I'll add to my life, is that I decide to believe in this. I decide to believe in that. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Play it like a goddamn like it's a role playing fucking video game. Till your ass get put in chains all over again. Till you get killed off all over again. For your ass end up with monkeypox all over again. You understand that the atrocities that happen to Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women will all come to an end if we just stop acting like this is all a goddamn game. As if free will is an actual thing. If it was free will, you would have the option to say, you know what, I want to serve the white devil God instead of the nigger God, the one and only real God. You would have that choice. There's no such thing as free will. It's either live or die. Does that sound like freedom of choice to you? Does that sound like you have a freedom of choice? I mean, it's yes or no. I mean, does that sound like a freedom of choice to you?
No.
Does that sound like a freedom of choice to you?
No.
Why not? You want to live? You know, that's all right. No sweat. But you understand? If you desire to live, it doesn't sound like you got much of a choice but to do as you were told, right? I mean, I don't see you going out of your way into the forest to go and find, some poisonous ass mushrooms to go and eat. They need to be put in here. You know, it's not in the Bible. Go eat poisonous mushrooms that will kill you, put you through a miserable agony for 13 hours before you finally die. You know why you don't do that? Because you want to live. You understand what I'm getting at with that? All right. Where was we at? 14 and 11. So drop that. We're going to go to the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1. So we're going over just a little bit over 9 o'clock, just because I do owe y'all 15 minutes. Salakia for being late earlier. Man, Las Vegas, they bipolar with the weather and how they want to set up the the construction and whatnot. So Salakia, y'all, that did kind of mess me up a little bit getting here on time. But I will, y'all got me for 2 hours. Y'all get the 2 hours from me. You understand? If anybody does depart before that time, I'll just say Salakia, and I do understand. If you, go about your way, there ain't no thing. Amos 3 and 1. Why? See, that's why I'm not a big fan of this dog. I slip want to get somebody to repair that and use that again. There we go. I just get right to it. Stupid. Can't do it with this one for some reason. All right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel. So hold on, let's stop real quick. So the Most High God is only speaking to one set of children. He's only speaking to one, right? Which are the children of Israel, not the world, not the Chinese, who are the Moabites, not the African booty scratchers, who are the Hamites. You understand? Not the white man, who are the Edomites. Stop messing with it before you pull off the rest of those. He's talking to the Israelites. O Israel, whom of which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women. Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, now we just got out of talking about, all sorts of little stories that happened with Moses and Aaron and the Israelites, right? So we got an understanding of who the hell the Israelites are, who the hell the family is that came out of Egypt, right? So now the Most High God right here in Amos 3 and 1 is talking to them, all of them that just came out of Egypt, the Israelites that came out of Egypt. Verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. You understand? So this lets you know, and this was a lesson I had to learn as a child. You can go and get caught up for the same goddamn thing with one of your little white friends. And I'm saying white friends because this, like I said, something I grew up to learn for myself. Running through my goddamn daddy and the power of my father's wrath. Man, if y'all see my father, that is not he is a big man that you do not want to piss off. And mind you, they used to call me Rudy when I was a kid because I was so small. I had a lot of heart, playing football, right? I didn't give up. Not only that, but I smacked the hell out of your ass. Anyway, neither here nor there, right? My dad taught me this Bible. My dad showed us, because me, my brother and sister, the spirit of having a parent who is a nigga. Because he had that same spirit that the Most High God has. He ain't worried about what goddamn Andy did down the street. I don't give a fuck if it was the same thing that you did. Like for my language. I don't give a damn if that was the same thing that you just did. That's not my child. I don't deal with him. He spittled unto me. You understand? I'm worried about what you did. You did this, I'm whooping your ass. You understand? Man, I was learning the Bible before I even knew to read the Bible. You understand that? Most High God does the same exact thing with all of us. That's why Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, we have higher rates of heart issues and blood pressure and whatnot. What's the first, when you go to the doctor, they say you got heart issues, blood pressure issues. What's one of the first things they tell you that you need to knock off? Anybody give me a random guess? What you think?
Blood issues?
Huh?
Blood issues?
No. No. They'll ask you about your diet. I will say that. Damn near just gave you the answer. What's blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women's damn near favorite freaking meal? Our favorite foods?
Unlawful foods like
Pork.
shrimp.
Do you eat pork? Okay, you need to lay off the pork. You need to lay off of this. You need to lay off of that. We consume all of that. White men can consume the same doggone thing, but it's going to take a little bit longer before it affects them than it does us. You know why? The Lord don't care what happens to them. He don't, man, spittle. Worry about what you doing. Your ass can be 115 pounds, 5'4", look like you in great health. I don't even know what that looked like anymore. That was such a long time ago for me. Anyway, you understand? And you can have high blood pressure issues, heart issues. Why? You at home every breakfast, every morning, eating bacon, pork bacon. Ain't no wrong with bacon. Technically, bacon is just a cut. That's all that is. It's a certain cut of the meat. Shit, me and my family, man, we love us some goddamn beef bacon. Love some beef bacon. That is just, don't even get me started. But that pork bacon, though, you wonder why you got these health issues. You understand? Mind you, the Lord told you not to do it in the first doggone place. And then you're going to die within your own sin because, you just want to stop eating. You want to stop eating that pork. You want to stop eating them. You love them chitlins. Sitting there giving them final words that it's love them chitlins. You know what? We're going to go home and eat some chitlins in honor of his name. Didn't you just say that's what killed him? And then you going to go eat it? And you wonder why your whole family got goddamn heart disease. Your whole family is just look poisoned because of the poisonous food that y'all consume. You understand? But nobody else is being dealt with like that. So why would you try to unify with a nation of people that has nothing in common with you? That's not going to go through the same hardships that you go through. Like I said, I learned this as a child. I learned this as I was being raised. Because there came a point where I got sick and tired. I'm like, man, these goddamn white folk. My dad keep whooping my fucking ass, and y'all just going home and you can't play your Xbox, but you can still go outside. I remember this white kid, Andy, told me he could do that. He could go spend the night, play with his friends, all that. He just couldn't play Xbox at home. I said, hold up. But you go to dude's house and go play Xbox over there, right? Yeah. I could get in trouble. Everything taken away from me. I was in slavery in my house. Everything, I had no rights. I couldn't say nothing. I had to sit in my room. At least I was allowed to read. You understand? I was getting my ass whooped. When I was grounded, I got my ass whooped every time I did even just slightly stepped out of line. It was like I was really under the microscope during the time I was grounded. You understand? But they got to do whatever the hell they wanted. They just got little small things taken away from them. Ain't that damn near the same exact thing that's going on as a whole nation of blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women versus the rest of the people. I mean, you got African booty scratchers that put their whole goddamn head up to their shoulders in a cow's ass. In some way, somehow, their tribes do not get killed off by disease. That is beyond me on filthiness and just the fact that they are still around. But you know what? The Lord's not going to send a disease there because he's not worried about that. You have your time right now. Best believe when we go into the kingdom, that nonsense is going to stop. Right? All right. We just got a couple more. First Peter, we're gonna drop that, go to First Peter chapter 4, verse 1. I try to combine Peter and 4 together, and it came out as people. So like if I can find it, man. Damn near want to take my old sword back. There it goes. All right, let me get this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just 4 more, y'all. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. To an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you. Verse 5, who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. You understand? This is something that is being revealed for one people. You understand? This isn't something for everyone. Mind you, what has to happen for salvation to happen? Can anybody tell me what has to happen for there to be salvation for anybody? You cannot have salvation without this.
Repentance?
No. I mean, do you need to repent? Yeah, sure. Right?
You have to follow the laws.
No. I mean, that gets you qualified. But for you to actually receive the salvation, what also simultaneously has to happen? Go ahead.
Destruction? I don't know.
There you go. Get a sister in hand. It's destruction. Because how did Moses and the Israelites get, that was salvation. The Exodus was salvation. Salvation from whom? The Egyptians. What had to happen to the Egyptians for them to have salvation? They got destroyed. So how do you think that blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women are going to get salvation from America, from UK, from the Spaniards that do inhabit Mexico and South America, Canada, where we're scattered to the four corners of the earth? How do you think that we will actually receive salvation? And these other nations are destroyed. You understand that? And the beautiful part is, you don't have to act like the goddamn KKK, where you go and light up fires and shit on people's lawns, and then you go and kidnap their kids and hang them on trees in the middle of the night for their parents to wake up to see in the morning. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. They did it to us, but you ain't got to do that. Because what's coming their way is going to be a whole lot worse. The Most High God is going to do it himself. We are going to see another reiteration of what happened with the Israelites receiving salvation from the Egyptians. We're going to see it again. We're going to see it in America. We're going to see it in Asia. We're going to see it in Europe. We're going to see it all over. You understand? You can go inside and lay down. We're almost done. If you want, you can go inside and lay down. Go lay down on the couch. All right. Drop that. Go to the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 27. We almost done, y'all. So like it. I just want to get this done. Book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. Who does that sound like? If you watch them classes on Mondays and watch them classes on Thursdays, there's someone in particular who it says it on a weekly basis, twice a week. Who's that sound like? And I'm looking at you. General Mahine. Because what is one of his famous things to say? When it's talking about how would you summarize this in Jeremiah Hyman's words?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, no sweat. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. That's like it. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. You got several options, honestly.
I like walk like Christ.
Huh?
I was gonna say walking like Christ.
No.
Then I'm not sure.
I mean, how he loves, let's be honest. Hyman loves to tell people, hey, cutting y'all off, that's one of my favorite things to do. Cut y'all out the goddamn, and paraphrase, he don't say it just like this. But the less that we have in the school, the better. Coming to the school and fail so I can kick you out is better. Smaller is better. You understand? I only want the brothers who are zealous. I only want the sisters who are zealous to lay in their brick. You understand? They're not worried about their personal feelings. They're worried about what they can do for something that is greater than themselves. They're not being selfish. And the same thing for brothers as well, who has that zeal to fight and stand up against all the principalities of the world, who will not give in to the principalities of the world because they love their nation, they love their king, and they love their people that much. They love the Most High God that much. Do y'all understand? I pray that you do. All right. Drop that. Go to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. The book of Zephaniah, 2 and 1. We got this in the Mark 9 and 38. So this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. We are scattered to the four corners of the earth. And the four corners of the earth, they all hate. It's like it. Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women. Asians hate us. Goddamn Africans hate us. Mind you, you know the Africans hate us because all throughout the civil rights movement, how many African countries actually came forward and say, hey, we are Zombunda, here to come and claim our people. You are mistreating our people. While we're getting hosed down by fire hydrants, being attacked by goddamn dogs, police dogs. Who came to our aid? Sure as hell wasn't the goddamn Africans. Who was helping? Who's helping the goddamn so-called Latinos today that are at the border being separated from their families, where women have to breastfeed their children through a goddamn cage? I don't see the Spaniards doing anything. I don't see the Italians doing anything, even though they try to lump the Latinos with the goddamn, with the Hispanics. That's why I also made a point, and sometimes I do slip up now, to stop saying so-called Hispanics, because technically that does include those Italians and Spaniards and the Portuguese. I say Latino. I changed it up to Latinos because Latinos, that pertains to my so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Mexicans, so-called Brazilians, so-called Dominicans. Did I already say Dominicans? You understand? The Afro-Latino communities. You understand? People. You understand? Who came to their aid? Yeah, mind you, the whole world wants to be a so-called goddamn First Nation person. Come Halloween, come Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving isn't just localized to just America and Canada, to North America. Y'all do know that, right? America's so goddamn powerful, they pushing they religion and holidays into other countries, such as, hey, I've been in Afghanistan, so I know about that. Do they religiously, practice it? No, but they are, they do push that their way to get them to do it. You understand that? Because mind you, what was America doing in Afghanistan? Not that I care about the people, but let's be real. He's doing the same exact thing that they was trying to do to our Gadite brothers and sisters, our Reubenite brothers and sisters, the so-called First Nation men and women. They was trying to do the same thing, take over that Middle East like that. But you see, when you don't just allow any type of outsider in, you allow yourself to protect yourself. That's why the Middle East is still their own. We actually need to learn from that. You understand? Our Gadite brothers and sisters, and this isn't necessarily to bash them. This isn't me bashing them. This is still a lesson for us to take into consideration, right? If we weren't so accepting of those European colonizers, y'all think that this would be called America today? Biblically, it was called Asareth. So you think that it'd be called the United States of America? It's probably one of the most divided goddamn countries in the world. And don't try to say that Africa is divided, because it's a continent with multiple countries within it, right? There's a little learning lesson for some of you goofies that are just so I love Africa. Right. Anyways, point is, 4 corners of the earth. We are scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. We all need to come together as one. Doesn't mean that we have to be all in one place, but we can still be one body, one mind, one voice, no matter where you are. What we teach here in Las Vegas is the same thing that they teach in Jamaica, in the UK. Hell, there's a school out there in the Netherlands. That blew my mind when I found that out. I thought that was the craziest doggone thing. I was telling my, Salagi, quick side note, then we'll get to the last chapter, last verse. I told my dad about that, and he was like, hold on, is that even safe for them? The Netherlands? You know what I'm saying? Because it is pretty much just white people, right? All right, let's drop that. We're going to get this last one, and then I'll, get y'all out of here. Salagi. We're going to go to the book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 38. Book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 38. All right. So this is the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 38. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us, and we forbade him, because he followeth not us. First of all, who does that sound like, Shemaiah? Where it says, we saw one. Who is the one that was casting out devils, not in our name? So a 2-part question. Who is the one casting out devils in our name? And then what is the name that he is referring to?
Would it be like other camps?
Mm-hmm.
Like now today?
Now part 2?
You said who was in the name? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
what is the name he's referring to?
The Most High? Or Yahweh? I mean,
Okay, so the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Collectively, who would you say that is though?
like in present time? Like, you mean like now? Or
I mean, now then, who would you say that is?
Christ?
Who's got the spirit of Christ? For time's sake, it's still UPK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still UPK, right? Verse 39. But Yahweh Shai said, forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can speak lightly of in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. You understand? Christ said, man, let them go ahead and do what the hell they want. Let them do their thing. But at the end of the day, it's not like they can speak against me. It's not just like in ISUPK how we say that we are undefeated, because we are. Nobody can speak against us, because what allegations do we have? What controversies do we have? You don't see somebody tell me of an instance that they heard of somebody getting caught up playing around with trannies, being a homosexual. I guess same, but or sleeping with white women, or anything of that nature. Anything that goes against what we even teach in the first place. What controversies do we have? But you can find that in JUIC, them purple faggots, slaggy, purple homosexuals. You can see that in GOCC, GMS, Sakari, them other joints. They all sleeping with white women. They all doing things that are against the Most High God. You understand? And with that, make sure that y'all link up with us December 1st through the 4th. You understand? The West Coast Las Vegas cookout. You understand? For those of y'all that would like to participate, make sure that you just get in contact with your respective camp leaders so that you may attend yourself. If you would like to contribute yourself, make sure that, again, you contact your respective camp leaders. And with that, shalom. Class dismissed.